So to finish our polygon unit, we are going to finish up this week talking about two other shapes, trapezoids and kites. Today we're going to do trapezoids. All right, a trapezoid is a quadrilateral, meaning it has four sides, but it only has one pair of opposite sides that are parallel. So you can see those are marked in our picture. Those two parallel sides are known as bases. So when you talk about the bases of a trapezoid, those are the ones that are parallel. The other two sides are legs. Right? Now, because these are parallel, our legs can act as transversals. And so this top base angle and then this one bottom base angle, they're on the same side here, are going to be consecutive interior angles, which means they're going to add to be 180. And the same thing happens on this side. All right, so if you grab one base angle on the same side as the other base angle by the parallels, always will add to 180. Now there's a special trapezoid, it's called an isosceles trapezoid, and that's when the legs are congruent. So what happens is it kind of straightens the trapezoid up and makes it symmetrical. Now there are two things that happen. With an isosceles trapezoid, your base angles are congruent, meaning this angle pair down here by that parallel will be the same. And the base angles up along that, the second parallel line, will be congruent as well. We still have the consecutive interior thing going on, so those two base angles will equal 180, as will the ones on the other side. The other thing with isosceles trapezoids, because we kind of straighten it up, your diagonals are going to be congruent as well. Now they do not bisect each other. So what should kind of appear is that one part of your diagonal and the other one will be longer than the other. But those same parts in the other diagonal will be the same. You'll have a smaller one and a longer one. And together, they will be congruent. So look at our three examples. In the first one, the way it's labeled, it's got one pair of parallel sides, so that makes it a trapezoid. So the only thing I know is that these consecutive interior angles on each side are going to equal 180. All right, so to get x, 180 minus 100 is going to be 80. And to get y, you're doing 180 minus 50 to get 130 degrees. Okay. In number two, it's a trapezoid, but the legs are marked congruent. So it's an isosceles trapezoid. So I know that these base angles are congruent. So let me just write A, B, C. So I know C is also going to be 60 degrees. To get A and B, again, we're just doing the consecutive interior rule. So 180 minus 60 is going to be 120. And both A and B will be 120 degrees. And in our third example, again, not only is it a trapezoid, but it's marked to be isosceles. So we know the diagonals are going to be congruent. So if the length of AC is 10, then the length of BD will be the same. The last thing concerning trapezoids is the midsegment of a trapezoid. Now we did midsegments of a triangle, so it's very similar. It's a segment that connects the midpoints, but of the legs of a trapezoid. So you'll see in this picture, we've got a point and the two congruent markings, which is showing you that's in the middle. Same on the other side. Connect it, you've created a midsegment. All right, so the first part, the midsegment is always parallel to both of the bases. Always. All right. The length of the midsegment is going to be half, but it's half the sum of the two bases. So when I look at this picture, I'm going to just say the rule to myself. The midsegment equals, so x equals 1/2 the sum of the two bases. So I'll add 8 plus 20. All right. So I'll do the parentheses first, add that to be 28, and half of 28 is 14. Of course, a lot of the problems you'll do are more algebra related with equations. All right, this trapezoid's just been turned on its side, but the 6x minus 1 and the 2x plus 11 are the bases, and the mid-segment is parallel to that. And the rule says the mid-segment is or equals 1/2 the sum of the two bases. So we're going to add 6x minus 1 plus 2x plus 11. All right, so shrink that down. So we've got 25 equals 1/2 8x plus 10. Now, before you distribute, you may certainly do that and distribute the 1/2 because both 8 and 10 are divisible by 2. But my recommendation would be to multiply both sides by 2 to get rid of the fraction. All right, don't distribute the 2. It only gets multiplied to one thing. And so we're going to multiply it to the 1/2. So now I've got 50 on the left equals, and I can just drop the parentheses, 8x plus 10. All right, I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides. So we've got 40 equals 8x. And then when I divide by 8, x will be 5. Okay. So those are your trapezoids. You should be ready to practice. Have any questions? Let me know.